and against spiritual wickedness in high places.
High places.
Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High.
Well, yes, spiritual wickedness in high places. So it's from the top down, man. The trickle down, or the piss or shit down effect, man. Where all them vile acts done on the top, it bleeds down. The thing is you look at like, that's why you get into what the fuck is this guy called, man? The wickedest man, Alistair Crowley. What was he? He was getting down with all that sexual freakism. You know, man had multiple wives, but he was going around. He's assaulting, putting demons on men to make them popping, man.
But I'm sure.
Trying to force it. What the hell, man? I remember in the documentary, they mentioned there was one guy said he just came, he sat down when he was having tea. Then like the way man he just wasn't gay at any point, but he just took the spirit and just like look, he offered him and he just started popping the guy, man. The guy bugging, the guy just ended up following him around for ages, man. Bugging out, man.
I think there was an account where this guy fucking brought out a spirit, like he made a spirit just manifest, and he cursed the spirit out, man. Cursed out Satan.
Wicked enough.
Makes you fall in the left, nigga.
Because this lady, like an old person looking after him, he just killed her instead. Very different accounts you read it.
I'm sure there was an account where he had his woman hung upside down.
Hanging upside down while he was popping men, man.
I mean, how are you interested in that?
They said they found him, he had all kind of STDs on him as well. He was always polluted.
That's his spirit, because that's Romans 1:26. When it says it basically vile affection, and then give you the recompense which is meat. So that guy was into beast. He got pop chickens, you know.
Yeah, he's on the farm.
You do anything,
popping
man.
all the animals, man.
Animal Farm, what?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh man, Animal Farm, the dog just kind of used to, oh no. You fight out of this, man. Why do you do that?
That's why he was infested with them demons, them STDs, man.
Well, I was gonna say that homosexuality, even now, it's like you got these homosexuals going around trying to accost straight men, trying to force them. Same with trannies, trying to say, you should see any difference between a transsexual and an actual woman. Yeah, and the thing is, and man saying he's still got his rod. But you're meant to go there and just be like, okay, you just gonna that's all. Yeah, pretend the rod's not. I'm like, nigga, what?
You can't have no kids.
Yeah,
you're supposed to live in that world.
Endlessly popping him in the ass.
Fuck that.
This guy's getting a hard on when you're popping him. Like, what the hell? But then you're meant to ignore that.
That's blasphemy.
Bro, that's insane. But then the thing is people say, oh no, that's a woman. Yes, miss. I'm like, hold on.
No, it is.
That's a demon, bro.
Yeah, well, that's when you get that guy bugging out. It's man.
That guy.
Man was the most. Oh,
It's literally you fucking Baphomet. That's what it is, man. You're actually fucking a demon, like living right in front of you, in the flesh.
And breathing, man. You
know?
popping it, the head just turn around 360.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at
Nah,
you.
fuck that.
That's a deep
Read that scripture.
This is Mark chapter 5. Mark chapter 5 and 1. And they came over to the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come up out of the ship, immediately there met out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs. And no man could bind him, no, not with chains.
He was a strong lad.
So affected by that demon, man. People were scared to go whip by him.
One punch,
you know? And they tried to bound him up, but they couldn't bound him, man, because the demon was just wild.
Out repeatedly.
You know, and he knew that guy. He's notorious. He knew who that guy was, and he said, "Don't go down there."
That's the Incredible Hulk right there. Yeah, man, just. That was Hulk, man. They all try to bind him. Remember the cartoon back in the day? The military always come. They'll be like, "Okay, we've got a containment field for Hulk." Then they go. They always mash the thing up, man. Sending out bare tank man, dashing the tanks. That's this guy, man. You sending the whole Roman legion. He just
just doing backflips.
Yeah.
You're trying to catch him.
So they're trying to leave that man alone, man.
Yeah, they just like, leave him, man.
man.
Try hell, man.
And it says, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. And if I could just add on to that, man, that's why you see a lot of these witchcraft specialists, man. They like to be dwelling in, cemeteries and shit. Do say they light candles and circles and shit, draw pentagrams. That's what they do, man. You know? So this guy was actually dwelling among the tombs, man. He did them, it's unclean.
Like that documentary on Venezuela. A lot of them grave robbers. A lot of them go to graves.
The grave robbers.
This guy's been dead from the 30s. They are actually going. They're going to take his gold and his bones to do spells. You know.
Oh, that Robert Johnson documentary that Apostle Gabar said to watch. It's a good documentary. I watched it yesterday. He said basically he went to a tombstone after the crossroads. He used to go to the tombstones and play the guitar sitting on the tombstone. So that's the only way you can get that perfect, connection to the spirit world to actually, play it properly.
Hey,
Well, I think there's a movie about it, man. Fucking Coco. It was about like the Day of the Dead. A movie that I think it was Pixar, maybe.
The kiddies,
the kids one about like the Day of the Dead. Because I think it was like one of the musicians. He was like, I don't know, I think he murdered someone. Then he like kind of stole these skills, man. Like with the guitar. I ain't watched it, but I watched someone breaking it down. I was like, you know what? That's that kind of spirit, because all that it's the same spiritual. The spirit.
I was just gonna say that it actually shows that songs and music is vibrational. Because David played the harp to cast out demons. That's the same way you can put demons on
play the harp to deliver them demons and so. That's
That's why Apostle Gabar like always brings account of a guy. The guy who said that basically if you want a song to blow, just make it about fire. And how basically like some people get into rooms and pray over records. So gets the attention.
Well, that's why always.
Alright, we get some information. We're not.
No, it's all good.
Is that alright? Listen, I actually want some information. Is that alright? What's going on? This doesn't normally happen. Oh, you know what? That's cool.
We're teaching
I actually want to know. I actually want to find out.
You're black Israelites.
Yeah. So what's the thing?
Black power.
Nah.
It's not a black movie. So what's Judah, Benjamin? What's that?
It's if you read the Bible, there's a man called Jacob. He had 12 sons. These are basically Judah, Benjamin, Levi. That's the names of all the sons. Down left is a modern day where you're going to find the bulk of those nations. Now, what we're doing basically, we're teaching the Bible. We're trying to wake up our people from among these nations, basically.
Oh, fair play to you. Fair play to you guys.
All right.
Lose your peaceful, man. You peaceful guys.
Have a nice day, man.
What football team do you support? That's the basic. Go and ask questions now.
Don't worry, I'm rugby, mate.
Well, since Judah,
I'm Arsenal, man.
Guys,
Have a nice day, man. You take care. Have a nice day, mate.
Hey, that's the spirit, because he said you peaceable guys. We just pulled that out of the other camp, man. Be peaceable with all men.
Yeah, man. It's not every day you do that, man.
He came up cool, like you said, he just wanted info. He gave him the 411. Yeah, he's just a Jake, man. He's just a Jake, man. He didn't know what was going on, man.
So-called white nigga, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, man. You keep in the gym, do this triceps, bicep,
And waiting for the missiles.
and waiting for the missiles.
You guys are black Hebrews. He knows. They all know. There's people around here that know what time it is.
Hey,
imagine we're in the sticks. And the man's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, we
black
didn't mention Hebrew. We didn't say nothing about Hebrew.
Yeah, black Hebrew.
You just said black Hebrews,
Man,
yeah.
I'm like, everyone knows.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you go on online. Who online don't know, man?
Hey, but
It's
you
like
know,
YouTube blowing up.
Y'all know.
Man saw, you know what I mean, bro? How many hits was on the video? 817K. And then it got froze out.
but
Then
there's
they
more.
that got
That's
dropped
like-
into the abyss of
wait,
YouTube.
an extra couple 2 million under there.
Yeah, it's fucking 2 million odd.
Hey, but you know what it is? It's like at the end of the day. So some people have to get marked for salvation. Some have to get marked for destruction.
That's it.
So if them guys don't,
He's got no cloak now.
He's got no cloak for his sin.
All of them. They got no cloak, you know.
All of them.
For those that were Jake.
And that's the thing is
Yeah,
this.
Spurs and that.
You're gonna have billions upon billions of motherfuckers just getting roasted. So
Yeah. What the scripture says, the slain of the Lord shall be many.
it's gonna be many.
Many of
So
them.
you think there's 8 billion people on Earth, and it said 144,000, 1/3 of the nation of Israel.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to have all kind. Hella Negroes doing the robot and the fire, man.
Charcoal niggas, man.
Charcoal, the arm flies up, man. Turning, man, that good fire.
Yeah.
We'll be cooking chicken, barbecuing chicken over that shit.
Yeah.
I want to mention something about the demons, the spirits on people, man. Because like, hey, we're not immune. You know, demons are out here, man, trying to fuck with us all the time, man. You know, but going back into the whole armor, man. The armor gives us a defense, right?
Right.
Okay, it gives us awareness. Okay, the problem is that when people get attacked by demons, they don't know how to deal with it. They're under the spell.
They don't know what's happening.
You know, and they're not even aware of it. They don't even know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
whereas when demons come upon us, man, we have to meditate, man. We have to think about what it is that we're doing, and that we have to rebuke. You have to rebuke the demons, man.
You have to think.
You know,
like,
there's scriptures that do that for us.
these transsexuals, the man's gonna chop his rod off and say he's a woman. Like, bro, that's insanity.
Yeah.
For, until like
You gotta rebuke that.
2014 or something, it was a mental illness.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. You got a demon in your mind.
Yeah.
Say no, I am a woman. Now you're just gonna say yes, that's a woman.
Nah, you gotta
No,
rebuke that,
you're
man.
insane.
Yeah.
Like, you're out of your mind, man.
Because it's not correct. You know, the scripture's not correct.
You've maimed yourself. That's like, I've chopped my arm off. I was only meant to have one arm. Like, nigga, what the hell? What are you?
I was born.
What? Yeah, I was born.
And then Esau is carnal. He says it's mental health, and he prescribes pills to a spiritual thing. Like,
and that just basically, a lot of it is just so
Demons.
just taking your mind completely
and it's
numbing
putting
it.
more demons in there.
Because your mind numbed out. So you just open an open channel for even more. That's why a lot of them, they go off their medication, they go on a killing spree or some shit.
Yeah.
Unstable.
You just reading on, it says verse 4, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters been broken into pieces.
Yeah, man.
Neither could any man tame him.
He was a strong lad, man.
He was strong lad.
Yeah, he was strengthened by the spirit, but Satan was on him. Man. You know.
He weren't alone.
Hey, bro, is that the account with them two guys? No, that's Acts. You know the guy tried to go exercise.
The vagabond Jews.
Yeah, man.
Vagabond,
Who was poor preachers.
The man just annihilated them.
Shit. The demons started moving quick.
That example shows you that the demons know who we are.
Yeah.
Because they said, Paul I know, and Yahushua I know, but who are you?
I never seen you,
They know
man.
what they're doing.
Can't.
It's like, so,
You know?
fuck y'all.
It says, and always night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones.
Oh yeah, see. Hey, so
This ain't no joke.
that's why I read that again. Huh?
And it says, and always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones.
That's why if you go back to the story of Elijah, when they compared the gods of the Hamites and the power of Israel, they actually cried unto the God throughout the whole day and started to cut blood, so that he would send fire upon the altar, man. So that actually shows you that's a spiritual thing. That's why you know that film, the Possession of Michael King, he actually cut a painting right on himself to go and let blood, right? So that's why with certain spells and certain things that the Edomites do, you actually need blood for it to work. You know?
Yeah.
So you got an exorcist as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same way, same way, with us. On the right hand side, certain things you have to sacrifice, the righteousness. The same way the Edomites sacrifice the wickedness. That's why the scripture says, ye shall not let your sons pass through the fire of Molech. You know? Because that's why with certain spells and certain things, it actually takes a sacrifice to take place.
That's right.
That's why he was cutting himself, man.
Yep. But when he saw Yahushua afar off, he ran and worshipped him.
So that there proves that the actual power that on the right hand side is more powerful than the left hand side.
Right.
Because he just came right and worshipped him.
And cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, Yahushua, thou son of the Most High Power?
Yeah.
I adjure thee by the most...
Even imagine man just came out, that son of the most.
No, he
I'm
knew-
like, who even knew that?
There you go.
Yeah, I told him to shut up, innit? Basically. Hold that.
Don't be saying that. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
But then that's because it was only for certain men to know. Because that's why it's like when Yahushua, when I think was it the Transfiguration?
Yeah.
Well, it was the Transfiguration. Afterwards, he said, "Okay, who does thou say I am?" So the Son of the Living Power, man.
Yeah.
It says, "Look, flesh and blood's not revealed of the Spirit."
But the Spirit.
So it's a thing where it's like it's not just because back at all these Christians now it's like you're the blood of Jesus. Them same niggas, crusty ass nigga, crab niggas. Back then they would have just been like, no, I'm about them laws. No, all I know about is them laws. When you talking about who's this Jesus fella? Man, some Jesus? Some what? He meant to be the Messiah. Man, you talking about some Jesus? Look, give me them laws. Yeah, you following them laws? Why he hanging around with them disgusting law-breaking niggas? Simpletons, man. Man, are not not in the spirit. That's why it's a thing. Because hey, the law. Hey, that's why. You're not going to get this thing through the law, man. Because it's a shadow of things to come, man. We can't even fulfill it.
Now, son.
It's lucky, man, because they've kind of turned the law into a carnal thing. They don't follow it in the spirit.
Yeah.
They don't deal with the spirit. That's why when the Yahushua came, they couldn't take him because these weren't spiritual men, man. They were just about following the letters that was written in the book, as opposed to actually dealing with the spiritual things concerning the law, concerning the prophecies and all that kind of stuff, man. That was all about what was in front of them,
And as well, the thing is obviously because they're in the flesh, they're breaking the law, but then they're still trying to front.
How was I in the wilderness?
Because what does it say? It says like, oh yeah, which of you, if your ass falls into a, no, it wasn't an ass, it was a bull, I think it was, falls into a pit.
like that,
An ox falls into a pit, you're not just going to take it out on the Sabbath day, which you should be executed for that. But obviously man be doing it. But then that's why it's like there's those flex.
He said it's not a righteous thing to do good on the Sabbath day.
Yeah, because they're trying to use that as a weapon against Yahushua. Who is the law? You know how stupid that is. That's why he's coming. He was schooling y'all when he was 12. But then you're going to try and go, why you going to do that on the Sabbath? You healing? So I was not righteous to do good on the Sabbath. Then the niggas, and then you know that was that same nigga who would have been out there pulling the ox out. Like, yo, ain't no, get your ass out, man. Thinking ox gonna die in there. He's just like, fuck, how am I gonna till the fields? Of course you go out there, man. Go on.
Reading on, it says, Thou the Son of the Most High Power, I adjure thee by the Most High that thou torment me not. And he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit.
Oh, see? So
back up straight away, man.
It wasn't a mental illness.
Yeah, it wasn't a mental. He needs help.
Yeah, he needs
put him in a straight jack.
Put him in a straight, Inject him with drugs all day long.
Can't.
And just there, drooling out of his mouth.
This guy was so plagued. You might try and come at him with a syringe. He twist his neck and choke you out, man.
Yeah, man, just
he'll push the syringe back into you.
The syringe will be
He'll strip you
try
and
and inject him. It's going to be like Hancock, man, where they try and just ping and the skin just broke.
Yeah.
That goes into what you were saying about you having to rebuke them demons. Yahushua straight up rebuked the spirits that was on that man.
That's how you got to deal with it, man.
Or even, just as an aside, just like the medicines as well and the drugs. When you go back to the herbs, it's the same kind of thing where it's like this, spiritual uses for the herbs.
Yeah.
But then Esau's just basically, he's doing it with demons in that, man.
Yeah, like so it's a lucky after you, bro.
No, go.
Like in witchcraft, sometimes they burn sage and spike herbs to evoke spirits, man. So that's what you were saying, herbs and that.
Well, it's funny because when you go into the root word of pharmacy, it means sorcery or witchcraft.
Yeah.
And the apostles always bring that out.
Yeah.
That's where you get your drugs.
That's why they get the caduceus, the emblem that they use.
That's right.
Hermes rod, I think that's
But that's spiritual.
And it's what Hippocratic oath. Yeah.
But that's spiritual. You know what it's saying about the herbs is spiritual. Because for the same way that they burn sage, that's how we burn incense on the left, on the right hand side.
Left and right, both.
And the left and right.
You got any of them witches shops?
They got incense for days, bro.
Legendary blinding incense, man.
But even with the herbs and all that kind of stuff, man, the Lord says it's still to pray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's still part of it because it's a demonic thing. It's not just the herbs it's not just a solution. It's the prayer that goes with it, man. And that's why when these witches on their side, they still have to do enchantments. You have to chant and do whatever they're doing, man, because it's not going to do it for them. they have to invoke those
Afraid
demons.
to say it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Witches have a health book. Like I actually personally spoke to a guy at my work. He's in witchcraft. They actually have a health book of herbs. Like if you're sick, take this and say this prayer, and it'll work. So that's like right answer.
Yeah, them witches get in, man.
Them witches are diligent.
Well, a lot of them are out in the sticks, man. They'll have gardens, they'll have all those things.
Yeah, but
That's why you go to these Beltanes, to these, all these different observations they do throughout the year. Man, they get in, they've got certain paints, certain different things that,
Can't.
they utilize. And the thing is just like they have days of power, it's the same thing for us. You do like the observations we got throughout the year. Well, I was listening to I'll probably close.
And it says,
okay, go on.
oh, verse 9, it says, and he asked him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many.
Yeah, so the demon answered, man. That's what you get in these Hollywood movies where it'll just have like the kid would just be talking, mommy, I don't wanna. Then the eyes change, and you get that demonic voice come out. That's what happened then.
Yeah.
It's like we are Legion, and we are many. You'd have heard 1,000 voices and shit, man. All them demons.
Yeah.
That's because there's actual demons there, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it says, and he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding, and all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them.
Yeah, and you know what? This actually happened. This is a real event.
Right.
Like it shows you these things still exist on Earth. People might think, the Bible, that's Bible times. Nigga, it happened on
Yeah,
Earth.
these guys in the church.
We're still on the earth.
Yeah, we still on it. Yeah, we're on Mars right now.
Bible time. Bible time is now as well.
Yeah, like the Bible
time.
Yeah, that was them times.
That is a different universe. Like it's a Marvel universe.
No, yeah.
Bible time.
Earth 616 when
That's
Earth
what they
went.
say.
Bible time.
Bibles, yeah, like the most fantastic. Like, you walk around and we walk in trees and shit. Yeah, Bible time.
Bible time.
And forthwith Yahushua gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine.
Wow.
And the herd ran violently down into a steep place into the sea, and there were about 2,000.
See,
And they choked.
And animals always get bugged out when their spirits are around, man. They sense it, man. They go crazy. That's why you always see it in the movies, man. Inside happenings. Inside happenings, man. The animals, they go crazy, man. Start barking or doing whatever, man. Just go a bit wild, man. Because there's strange things happening, man.
Again, it's like with these, a lot of these witches all have animals, man. Animals is bugged, man. All messed up, man. Glazed eyed and shit.
Got fucking, what's it, Salem sitting next to the cat.
Yeah, Salem, innit? Yeah, Salem just chilling there.
Talking to you and shit.
Spiritual aspect. Well, I was gonna say, I was listening to a podcast talking about rituals. They were saying like rituals have had a part in human society from forever and still do. That's why you got them rituals in fucking Africa where for a boy to become a man, he has to receive semen from a grown man. Whoa. Yeah, shit. But then that's the same kind of witchcraft ceremonies, man. Everyone, that's why Esau, he does certain things on certain days. That's why why is May Day still getting celebrated? And that's the old celebration. They go around the maypole, which is a phallic symbol. You got kids. It's always young girls in dresses going around the maypole, man. So ceremonies, Christmas, all these things they get upheld because Esau knows where his powers are, right?
Channeling that energy, that dark energy, man.
Dark energy.
From the dark universe, man.
Dark.
With Dormammu and shit. Big face Edomite in there.
In the dark.
Isaiah 47:12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries.
Yeah, enchantments and sorceries, man. It says stand now. Well done.
And with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth.
Yeah, that's what Esau's laboring from his youth. You go back to the origins, back to what you call it, man? The fucking Borgias, man. That first crime family. Them motherfuckers. Them guys were the same thing. They're all up in that left hand side. That's what we're all up in the church ceremony and all that.
Yep. It says, if so be that thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail, that thou art wary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators,
Yeah, not just one channel, myriad channels, man.
Lad.
Okay, go on.
stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Oh shit. Behold, they shall be as stubble, and the fire shall burn them.
Yeah.
That's a fail, bro. That's a fail, no.
Yeah, you lost, man.
Clean fail, right?
You lost. You know?
Yeah, because, you know, eventually, man,
That's a hard scripture.
in Egypt,
Cannot
man,
deliver
you know,
themselves from the power of the
when
flame.
you know, this
Majors.
yeah, of
Egypt.
Oh yeah.
eventually it came to a stage like, bro, hey man, we can't even compete with this guy.
Man was just like, yo, we don't even know.
We can't even do this.
I'm blacking out the sky and like, we're just like, yo, we don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
Niggas just tell you just come back like, where the majors at?
yeah.
Man got swallowed, consumed.
Yeah.
In the dark, man, by some creature.
Remember when they brought out like all of their rods?
Yeah, consumed. Yeah.
Everyone's turned into serpents too.
Yeah.
But the ones of Moses was like, nah, nigga.
Hey,
Eating them niggas, man.
you know, and that's how it's gonna work here, man. When the Lord comes, man, all these enchantments that they be doing out here, man, ain't gonna be a damn thing, man. It's gonna be overrun. You know, and consumed. This place is gonna be consumed.
Yeah, that's right.
It's gonna be fire. But yeah, you know, leave it there, man. Say all praise to God.
Praise Jehovah, Hashem Kodash.
Double orders.
Shalom.
You know what? That was a short session.